I was diagnosed with PNES about 10 years ago. When I was diagnosed, they didn't even have the term PNES, or my neurologist didn't know, but he called them pseudo-seizures. It took about a year and a half of going to numerous doctors and neurologists to get that diagnosis. And when I got that diagnosis, it was a little hard to take. I wasn't. They didn't break it to me in a way that was. Basically, it made me feel like it was all in my head somehow. That these were pseudo seizures, that they were fake seizures. They weren't real. This is kind of the impression that I was getting from the medical community at the time. And so my neurologist said, well, I can't really help you anymore. You need to see a psychologist. And I would go to psychologists, and they would say, well, no, you need to see a neurologist. And I would tell them, well, my neurologist sent me here, and they would just, I could tell that they didn't know how to deal with me in my situation. They were confused, and that because of insurance limitations, those were the doctors that were available to me at the time. I've never in 10 years seen a doctor who's familiar with PNES. I would love to see a doctor who knows, but I just haven't found one, and financially I don't have the means to go search out specialists and pay for them out of pocket, and so I'm kind of in a tough situation. And they give me a number of anticonvulsant drugs, anti-anxiety drugs. The anticonvulsant drugs were very hard to deal with. It made the situation a lot worse. And the anti-anxiety medications, I finally got on one that seemed to be helping lessen the seizures. But the side effects were so bad. I decided I didn't want to live with the side effects. I wanted to see what it would be like just to not be on any kind of medication and see what would happen. So I tried it for about 2 years. It seemed to be working, although I was having more seizures, but they were something I could deal with. They were manageable. But it was about almost 6 years ago that I stopped, and my episodes have become more frequent, and they've gotten more prolonged, or they were getting more frequent, and I could tell, and I decided I needed to do something, but I wasn't ready to try to go back on traditional Western medication. And so somebody told me that cannabis was used to help with seizures. So I live in the wonderful state of California, where medical marijuana is easily accessible, and I went to a doctor, got a medical marijuana prescription, and I've been smoking ever since. And it's the only thing that has brought me relief where there was no relief before. I'm not sure how it works, or what exactly it's doing, but I smoke before episodes, and it lessens the seizure. It makes it not as intense. It's easier for me to deal with, and afterwards I smoke, and it helps me, brings me back into a good place. I'm very out of it usually after the seizure, after the episode, and this helps me. It gives me relief from the horrible feelings and just the stress that my body has gone through. I know with PNES there is no one treatment, there is no one drug, so I'm not. Cannabis hasn't even taken the seizures away, but it's been a relief to me where there was no relief before. And so I'm not telling everyone that has these types of seizures that they should smoke cannabis, but if you're open to it and you are suffering, you should try it. It might help. And I wanted to share this with the community of people who does suffer from these types of seizures. Because I've never even met anyone who has these seizures, let alone talk to doctors who really know about them. And so I thought I would reach out to other people and share this information. And I hope it helps someone, because cannabis has certainly helped me.